Today we'll be restoring the Holy Roman Empire as Germany. It's a bit convoluted, and it's been a while since I last tried this, so let's see if we can still pull it off.
Oh, I bet you'd like to know. I bet you'd like to know indeed.
So, first of all, let's take a look at the focus tree. We are gonna not do anything with Rhineland. Our goal will be to oppose Mr. Schmidtler and work our way down to the Kaiser. But first, we need a distraction. We are going to eat Poland as quickly as possible, and to do that, we need to save up a little bit of political power. So, we'll wait until we have 60-ish political power before we take a focus. Now, for research, nothing fancy here. We'll just start with the basics, and then just keep our industry up to date, our artillery up to date, infantry up to date, and tanks. Germany loves tanks, but Germany can't get medium tanks that quickly anymore, so there's no real reason to rush 1938 mediums yet. Fortunately, we get a nice research bonus here, treaty with the USSR, so once we get this one, we'll rush those tanks. In terms of production, guns are fine, a little bit extra on artillery, more airplanes, and I don't want basic medium airframes. I just don't like them, so I'm going to be mostly focusing on fighters and CAS and just producing a little bit of everything until we get some sort of industry going where we lean heavily into tanks, trucks, and slowly ramp up as we go. So, Navy. The submarines really not that good, but they are bodies in the water, so might as well finish the ones that are almost done, but then don't build any new ones of that design. Same for the destroyers. They're almost done, might as well finish them off. Separate the surface ships from the submarines as well, so put the surface ships in the high seas fleet and the submarines in their own little fleets. And let's see, we got a bunch of these 1936 destroyers that we might as well finish, and then we have the big ships at the end that will also finish up. After these are done, we'll design something new that will also try and produce and get ready, but we don't have the naval experience for it yet. So we'll just keep producing the ones that we have, make sure that enough ships are assigned to the repair queue, take the regular old navy, and they can exercise and group up all of the ships except for the submarines into the high seas fleets, give them to Lutyens or whoever, really doesn't matter that much. There, Raider can do it, and they also exercise. Construction! I'll lead up with infrastructure in Moselland and Rhineland, followed with civilian factories in those two locations. I don't want to build anything in the east of the country because unfortunately we are not going to be holding on to the east of the country for the entire duration of the run, so anything I build there is a bit of a waste, but a couple of civs good to start from. Then the army. We have 30 divisions. Let's take 24 infantry units. Let's split them off. I'll put those here-ish. They can go bully Poland. Then we have trucks and tanks, and I'll separate those as well. I'll put them here, and they can make a nice run towards Plock. I have no idea how to pronounce that. It leaves us with 2 units, Cavalry Commando, and that leaves 1 mountaineer. He can solo this entire flank of the Polish line, like so. Don't worry, we'll get friends for these guys. We're gonna need more boys, and the cheapest boys we can make are these guys, the Cavalry Brigade. They're considerably cheaper than the infantry division, so just spam a bunch of these guys out, as many as we can. I need 48. I think the cleanest way to do that is just 2 runs of 24. So 2 runs of 24. Actually, no. 2 runs of 23. Yes. I will use them to fill up the southern flank and the Danzig pocket, the Königsberg pocket. Again, no focus to be taken. We'll trade for a little bit of rubber since we do have quite a bit of rubber production. And that is pretty much the basic setup done for now. Again, we're not taking a national focus until we have 60 political power, so let's go. We'll justify a war goal on Poland. If we spend 50 political power and then take a focus, we're actually spending 60 political power. If we start justifying and we would not have any extra political power, and this would say 0, and we then take a focus, we dip to minus 10 political power, and as a result, the justification would cancel because we'd have no political power. So now we take a focus, and we're going to lead with army innovations and head straight down to treaty with the USSR. Navy has done its duty. I'll put them back to port for now, mostly because I don't want to burn all of my fuel, and we're going to design something new. Once all these ships are built, we're going to add something else to the queue, a cheap destroyer. The cheapest we can make, a cheap light battery, a cheap torpedo launcher, decent engine, and we'll assign Blom and Voss. That's pretty much it. This costs virtually nothing, and it does the job just fine. Get as many of these produced as we can, mostly to flesh out our navy. Our navy is, I want to say respectable, but it's really not. But it does need a lot more screening vessels to be moderately effective. And with the extra bodies underwater, we might actually be able to create a naval landing in the UK. Now, I like boats. You like boats. I know you do. Admit it. And that's a beautiful coincidence because today's sponsor, World of Warships, does too. Alright folks, gather around because I am about to tell you about this absolutely massive game, World of Warships. And we're talking about big, beautiful boats, folks. The best part, you will unlock new ships as you go, getting ready to totally dominate the seas. It's going to be huge. Now, let me tell you, the details in this game, unbelievable. You've got weather effects that change how you play the game. It's like you're actually there in the middle of the ocean battling it out. And these boats, hyper accurate. We're talking about a level of detail that's just tremendous. But it doesn't stop there. There's always something new happening. New missions, game updates, events every week to keep you and your buddies engaged for hours. It's like the game never sleeps, always something exciting around the corner. Let's not forget a community. It's large, it's active, and it brings together people of all kinds. Join clans, compete, chat on Discord, discuss on forums. It's a beautiful thing, really. And since launch, over 500 ships from 10 different nations have been added. Think about that. The weather effects, armor viewer modes, all enhancing the realism. And with millions of players, you're joining a winning team here. The dedication. It takes the team 6 months to craft a ship from scratch, folks. That's commitment. And with a new cycle of content, every 4 weeks, there's always something fresh. Now, from destroyers to aircraft carriers, every boat offers a unique experience. And commanders, you've got legendary figures and even your favorite fictional ones to choose from. With over 40 maps and 20 ports based on historical places, plus a variety of battle types, this game has everything. PvP, PvE, you name it. So what are you waiting for? Get into World of Warships and start commanding your fleet. Let's make the seas great again. Link down below. Army innovations done. Treaty with USSR. Treaty with USSR is almost done. So this is going to take a couple of days. So 23 days. I can bank 30 days here. So I'm going to wait until the next focus finishes and we can get the treaty with USSR so I can use that research slot on our fresh new tanks. Delightfully devilish. That is all the horses deployed. We have a massive army of trash, but that's okay. All we need to really quickly defeat Poland is our decent infantry and our tanks. That's it. Poland doesn't stand a chance. A bit sad, really. Treaty with the USSR done. In terms of focuses, let's grab the 4-year plan. Justification's moving along nicely. The Soviets accept. This is on historical, so they will always accept. And there you see 2 100% research bonuses for armor technology. Combined with this research slot having some progress saved up means we can get 1938 mediums in just under 300 days. I think that's fair, right? I think that's fair. It is quite a bit ahead of time, yes, but medium tanks are so worth it, especially as Germany. Now, the designer I usually pick lately is Daimler-Benz, mostly because they make you slightly worse tanks, but you can make more of them. Considering we're fighting the AI, our tank quality can always be improved beyond what they can handle, and I just like having more tanks. So Daimler-Benz is my choice lately. MAN is still good, don't get me wrong. And with construction 1 done, let's pick up dispersed industry 1. We are going to be stockpiling our political power at this point. We would like to go to war economy and extensive conscription as soon as we get rid of the man with the mustache and replace him with the man with a way better mustache. There goes the 4-year plan. Let's grab autarky. We want to hire Hjalmar Schacht as soon as we finish the 4-year plan. So I'm a little bit behind 40 days of wastage. It's okay. He's very well worth it for the infrastructure and civilian construction. And we will not do demand to Ditland. So this guy actually sticks around and he's very cheap. We are going to be building quite a few civilian factories still to really make this Germany powerful. We can Danziger war, simply declare this war. Yes, we'll lose the Mifo bills. No, it doesn't matter. In terms of aggressive attacks, we use this infantry line to aggressively push. The cavalry is just there to get in the way, so they aren't really going to be doing much. The armor is going to punch a hole through this tile and then drive north all the way to the Königsberg pocket to try and cut off as much of the Polish forces in the west. Danzig is unoccupied because it starts out as a demilitarized zone for Poland, so just rush some horses in there so we can easily and quickly capture the port. Take Gdynia quickly, and these guys just force your way through. We will have victory. So just attack, slow the game down a little, we'll make this clean. And we drive north. And that is most of the Polish army encircled, ready to be destroyed. That's the rest of the Polish army ready to be destroyed. So, as far as the armor is concerned, a concentrated push towards the major victory points. So we'll be going for Warsaw, Lutsk, down here to Krakow. The cavalry can just hold the line behind them, and the good infantry, first off, they should focus on cleaning up the mess in the east, after which we move in and help push with the cavalry. That is pretty much everything in the east just gone. Autarky is done. Let us go forth and get rid of the man with the mustache. Hurrah! So I'll take whatever ships they have. Yippee, it's not much. And take all states. Don't turn this into a puppet. The puppet sticks with the fascist Germany, but any land we conquer, that sticks with the new imperial Germany after this. Now, in preparation, let's just get rid of the entire army, and now we wait. Now, considering we do have the time to run through oppose Hitler here, what we could do is go into the international market and actually sell some equipment. Mostly because it is entirely impossible now to send Lend-Lease to Spain. Like, the funny thing to do here would be to send Lend-Lease, then cancel the Lend-Lease like we used to do before. That way the fascists would get 0 equipment and we would get everything. It doesn't work anymore. We cannot even start a Lend-Lease right now. There's just no way to get that Lend-Lease going. What we can still do is either literally delete all of the equipment, just destroy all of it. I'd rather have half the equipment than no equipment, if I'm honest, so I'm not going to do that. What we could also do is sell some of it. So go to the international market and sell some equipment that we hopefully can produce later on, and at least we would deny it to the enemy. Wehrmacht officers, blah, 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 blah. Purge this Nazi scum from our lands. Now, beautiful. It did also cancel the sale of everything that didn't actually get sold. So, stuff that's still on the market, this is all going to get split up. So, half these stockpiles went back to our other half, which is okay. Both sides start with 24 horrible, I do mean horrible divisions to fight this, honestly, pretty stupid war. But we have a slight advantage. Oh, we have 2 slight advantages. One of those being that we have a brain, which definitely helps. And the second being we only have to manage one front. The fascists have 2 fronts because all of Poland sticks with us. That means we have the same amount of divisions, but they have to split it over twice as much land. So they're going to devote a lot of divisions trying to mop this up, even though we have 0 forces there. And that will leave massive gaps in their line that we can exploit to create encirclements. So we're going to try and get to the Czechoslovak border from this side as quickly as possible, and using that we can then cut off Bavaria and shorten the line, get ready to push them to the brink. Meanwhile, we are going to be deploying more men. Easiest way to do that is to train up a bunch of cavalry, mostly because we can only train a limited amount of manpower. We can only train 100,000 manpower in the queue, more or less, because we don't actually have a large army. If you were to train infantry divisions, for instance, we could only queue up, let's see, 11. But if I queue up cavalry, I can queue up 21, and those 21 divisions I can then switch over to regular infantry divisions and have a big army very quickly. Could quickly go with naval rearmament as we assess the situation, and we have 300 political power. Let's also go up to extensive conscription as well as war economy. Get us a little bit of manpower going. All right, got dispersed industry 1. Let's grab dispersed industry 2. The cavalry is going to take a little bit of time to get done, and we're trapping a lot of their divisions here. So that's 3 units trapped here, 1 unit trapped there, and that is another 5 units trapped around Munich. For a grand total of, well, pretty much all of their units are going to be useless for the majority of this fighting. All right, I can deploy my stupid horses, convert them all into stupid infantry. We have the equipment for it. Assign them to an army under von Witzleben. Set them to the main front line, and they should be able to wipe out whatever they have quickly and efficiently. Down south here, this is mostly just containment. Very little credible threat coming out of this pocket near Munich. Tedious, but it is done. We've defeated the enemy, and the army has earned a well-deserved break. So we'll just delete the entire army and take everyone out of the queue as well. For the second time, Germany finds itself with no army. Don't worry, we don't need one. As far as the Nazi leadership is concerned, I recommend hanging them, as you do. The bottom option could be useful if you want to use some of their leaders at a later date. I don't think we want or need them. Let's just yeet. We're going to need to do a whole lot of repairing. We're going to need to do a whole lot of rebuilding. In terms of building, I'm going to build up Niederschlesien, Oberschlesien with infrastructure and civilian factories. factories. After these are all done, we'll probably go deep into military factories. First step though, Kaiserwerke, and as soon as Kaiserwerke is done, we head down, secure the new state, revive the Kaiserreich, and return of the Kaiser. We also finished our medium tank chassis, not bad, and we'll go way ahead of time for the 1940 mediums as well. We'll get them well before anyone else gets them. You don't have to get these. I know that the hulls aren't the biggest deal, but I like having good tanks, and I like having good tanks early. As part of that treaty with the Soviets, we got Panzer IV Ausführung A, basic medium tank chassis. We got this design for free. It's not the world's greatest. We're gonna assign Daimler-Benz to it as well and see what we can turn this into. So it's got welded armor. I know that riveted armor is technically better, but it's on there. Might as well leave it. I like to grab either Christie suspension for the speed or torsion bar for the reliability. Let's grab torsion bars now. It's got a close support gun, which is fine. It's got the big turret, which is fine. Good radio. I don't like the smoke launchers. I would prefer replace those with heavy machine guns. We'll add 2 heavy machine guns and then a third slot. I spend it either on sloped armor. People give me shit for this all the time. It's too expensive. Yeah, it is pretty expensive. Or just add something like wet ammo storage so we get some more reliability, so I can jack up the engine and the armor manually a little bit. Just keep reliability around 80%. Yes, I know higher reliability is even better, but 80 is like the bare minimum where I want to keep it before this just becomes unusable. And we have 100 political power. Let's also use that. For Chief of the Army, I'm going to hire Franz Halder. Got our radios. Let's keep improving the infantry equipment from now on. So we just want to keep infantry equipment, artillery, air, and tank research all pretty much up to date with a priority on the industry. The industry comes first, everything else is second. War is won in the factory, not on the battlefield. Well, unless you send me a disaster save. That's a first. New state secure. We now revive the Kaiserreich. Now, make sure the Kaiser gets his way. We're also going to do some anti-fascist, anti-democratic, and anti-communist raids, as well as sharpen the air safety regulations. That's a whole lot of political power. That should give us the required support to go straight to return of the Kaiser. Well, Italy won't be going communist after all. The good thing here is that it did push up world tension. So world tension is over 40%. That means we can talk to Austria and create a faction. Of course, we'll call it the Central Powers, because why not? And hurrah, Austria joins our faction. I might be thinking, why? Austria is coded that whenever it is in the same faction as Germany, any type of Germany, it will simply beg to be annexed by that Germany. We're all more than willing to oblige. And there we go. The Austrian pro-German sentiment roars. Yes, the lesser German solution was a mistake, and then we'll just unify. Earlier, we clicked air safety regulations. You might be thinking, why would I want to do that? It makes all my airplanes more expensive. Yes, also means the Hindenburg won't crash and burn. And we need the Hindenburg to not crash and burn for specific event reasons that will become clear later on in the video. Just make sure you click air safety regulations, even if it hurts your industry a little bit. Return of the Kaiser is done. We are now going to expatriate the communists. This is going to send all of our communists to France. French love communism, so that'll be great for them. And after that, we head down to accept British naval dominance and alliance with the Shade. So we are going to kiss the royal behind of the United Kingdom for reasons that will become clear. And the Netherlands block the return. Excellent. The top option gives us a war goal. Not what we want right now. This could be fun for other campaigns, but right now we need the bottom option. We need Wilhelm III. The old Kaiser, he's not coming back, so let's get the new guy in. That gives us more decisions. First off, reinstate Prince Wilhelm's right of succession. So Kaiser Wilhelm III has a son who has renounced his right to succession, blah, 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 blah. We now click this button and say, yeah, he gets to be our heir again. After that, we also have to modernize the succession laws, because the German Empire goes by Salian law, which means only males can inherit. If we click this button, we say that, you know what? Women can also have a slice of throne. And in this case, that will be Victoria. So we need to save up political power for all these beautiful decisions. Now is also the time to train additional divisions. As many units as possible, we are going to spam them out. Mills might be taking things a bit too far, so it's not a bad idea to add some synthetic refineries. Synthetic refineries do give you the option to, you know, not having to buy rubber everywhere in the world, but you can actually get some yourself. And now that we're producing an actual army, we'll go into Spirit of the Army, click Motorization Drive, and we are quickly going to design our future tank template. So we want medium tanks combined with a little bit of motorized. So what we want is something with as many medium tanks as we can fit, roughly 30 combat width with here an organization that is 30 to 35. So we'll need to do a bit of balancing here. Now, currently our org is really low because we haven't really done any of the doctrines yet. So we need more trucks than we otherwise would. So something like this. And then as you get more doctrines, giving your regular tanks more org and your trucks more org, you can rebalance this to include more or less tanks and trucks. You can change the ratio as you go. And we'll also be naming these after channel members because only the finest supporters will do. I try to name all of my divisions or all of my elite divisions, depending on how many divisions I have, after channel members. So if you want to see yourself featured in these videos, a channel membership is a great way to support the channel and have a little bit of fun. So that is 4 units of infantry, and I'll use these 5 guys to make tanks. Can I make tanks out of you? No, I am a lot of tanks short. Can I at least switch all of you over to regular infantry? I think I can afford that, and then we'll just exercise these guys. I'll train fresh tanks. And we accept British naval dominance. So what we're gonna do now, we are going down an alliance with the Shade. This will ask the UK if we can pretty please join the Allies. We need to get the UK to like us more though. So what we're gonna be doing here is improving our relations and getting a non-aggression pact when we can. We're also going to get an intelligence agency, the Abwehr, and put a spy there that will then apply some diplomatic pressure so we can get that non-aggression pact going. We need to get the highest level of trust out of the British that we can, which is going to be a bit of a challenge considering we generated quite a bit of world tension. And there we go. The German Empire joins the Allies. We shall set our differences aside for now. Beautiful. What we need to do now is go here, see to the Eastern Front, safeguard the Baltic, and support the Finns. This will build us a network of alliances over here-ish, along with a guarantee on the Finns. What that does is essentially guarantee us the ability to go to war with the Soviets early. Kill the Soviets, become more strong. What it also does is allow us to spike world tension some more, because as you can see, world tension drops. With world tension not high enough, we can't really do anything. And since Germany is the engine of World War II in this game, if you're peaceful, there's not a whole lot of world tension going on. So you kind of sometimes get soft locked into not being able to declare war. So the ways to get into wars easily is through guarantees. And this is just a quick way of guaranteeing the Finns and the Baltics, getting them in your faction. You can fight the Soviets. When you're fighting the Soviets, world tension spikes. And that is something that you can also use to exploit the Italians. Now, Mussolini did something weird this game, as you can tell, because his capital is in Milan. I don't know if he's still going to follow his historical route and declare war on Greece. But it's also a good idea to usually guarantee the independence of Greece. If you do that, you can then come in when the Italians eventually declare war on Greece, and you can eat the north of Italy, which you will need to restore the Holy Roman Empire. And what we also need to do is click this button, the restoration of British titles. To do this, the Hindenburg must not be destroyed. Like I said earlier, we need the Hindenburg to not blow up, and we need the UK to like us at 100, which is possible, entirely possible. So we are at 94 just by improving relations, accepting naval dominance, and being in the same faction. And we can get it up a little higher by guaranteeing them independence. This gives us an extra 35. So we're going to wait for a little bit more political power so we can guarantee their independence and then immediately click the button to restore our titles. Now we safeguard the Baltic. Anyway, reputation is still at 100. We have 150 political power. We can now request that they restore the titles of the German royal family within Britain, mostly an honorary thing that after, I believe, World War I or during World War I, that whole thing was stopped for obvious reasons. Now let's make friends again. Wonderful, they accept our request. They always will. We either send a liaison, which is the obvious option we want. This will allow Victoria Louise to go first, and then we send the entire royal family in after her. If we click the bottom option, yes, we get 50 political power, and we send the entire royal family, including Victoria, on the pretty airship that hasn't blown up yet. Bottom option means everybody dies. Top option means everybody except Victoria dies, which is what we want. Sorry, Victoria. It's gonna be a rough childhood. There we go. The Hindenburg has blown up in London this time, carrying the entire royal family except for Victoria. So we lose some stability. Wilhelm dies, but we get Victoria, Kaiserin of the people. The Kaiser is dead. Long live the Kaiserin. Not only does she have a wonderful hat, but she has stats upon stats. Now, these are pretty good. All right, since I won't be eating the Czechs first, I'll just start and guard the Soviet border here. Might not be a terrible idea to upgrade the railway network in the region as well, since there will be a whole bunch of troops sitting on it. And while we're spending political power, I always recall Paul von Lettow-Vorbeck. He is one of the most intriguing people of World War I. I highly recommend you check out his Wikipedia page. It's hilarious to read. The Finns are supported. That means they have their guarantee. This side is pretty good, but it's not necessarily required, though the consumer goods thing is pretty powerful if you're building up quickly. On the other hand, I would much rather grab things like the Wilhelmwagen, the extra research slot, coal liquidization for a research bonus, synthetic rubber. Like, all of this is pretty powerful, and Großraumwirtschaft leads to align Hungary and align Romania, allowing you to do funny things with those nations, pushing them towards becoming non-aligned, which is definitely something I kind of want to do because it's so funny. Free puppets, yo, free puppets. I'm also going to grab logistics companies for obvious reasons. If we're going to go to war with Italy, I'm going to need something to deal with these mountains. Yes, Italy is relatively weak and I can probably overrun them with basic infantry, but maybe it's a little cleaner if we used some mountaineers to do it. So Friedrich Schulz, congratulations, you get to lead my Alpenjäger division, and the Alpenjägers can get a little bit of an upgrade. So these are 12 width, but they need to be slightly thicker, so we'll add some artillery to the mix, as well as a little bit more mountaineers. So I want these at 25 combat width, so something like this is what we're aiming for. I don't have the army experience required for it just yet, but this is what we'll be aiming for in terms of our mountaineers. We just want to get a couple of these named after channel members, of course. Yeah, we just want to get a couple of these to penetrate the Alpine line, mostly because it's way quicker. As far as the UK is concerned, by the way, we can safely leave the faction. There is really no point in staying in the Allies at this point. More than powerful enough to do whatever we want to. We have the Wilhelmwagen. Let's grab the extra research slot. Let's go grab our Russian spy. So if you have researched the tech here, localized training centers, and you have a spy slot available, go into your decisions, and that will give you this button over every other country in Europe. Recruit in whatever nation. We'll click that, and now we have a new Russian spy, Serafima Almazova, nicknamed Cicero, and she can build a spy network in Moscow. I'll be honest, at this point, it's just waiting to see who blinks first and generates the world tension, either the Soviets or the Italians. We just need a catalyst. This is actually a mighty fine industry for Germany. I am very pleased with what we've built so far, considering we had a civil war first. So as for our spies, we've got a powerful spy network in the Soviet Union. We're going to start rolling out collaboration governments. The Soviet Union and China are really the only two nations where you absolutely must roll out, well, must is a strong word, but where it's highly recommended to roll out espionage networks and collaboration governments, because if you do not have any collaboration governments, you have to fight and capture everything in the Soviet Union up to and including the victory points of Chelyabinsk, Sverdlovsk, Magnitogorsk, and then all, like everything just past the Urals. And that's a whole lot of stuff to capture. Let's also make sure the air knows what it's supposed to be doing. Get them into position as well. I'll use them to support mostly the armor, because my goal will be to make encirclements, cut off slices of the Soviet Union's armed forces, and just reduce them to nothing as quickly as possible. Now, the downside is that I'm still working on that first collaboration government, so might need to capture a lot of Soviet territory before I get what I want. So also hire the infantry expert first, so at least the infantry has a good fighting chance here. Don't worry, Finland, I'm coming to help you. Doesn't look like you need all that much help, but I'm coming anyway. Never fear, Finland. Germany and the Kaiserin come to your aid. We accept this, we go to war with the Soviet Union, Mongolia, and mighty Tanotuva. We didn't even have to justify a war goal. We're of course going to slow the game down, and our goal here will be to carve the enemy into little tiny bits who want to destroy as much of the Soviet Union's armies as possible, because if you just push their units back, that's not what you want to do. But you know how to play this game, right? So we'll just hit go. We've taken all of the supply hubs on the border, and we're pushing past, onwards and upwards towards the rest. Always want to keep them on the back foot. Never allow them to recover. If you allow them to recover, you're going to have to fight them fairly. You don't want to fight them fairly if you don't have to. That is a very nice cutoff point for the area around Odessa, As you can see now, we've reached the sea. This is actually a sea and not a river tile. And now everything around Odessa is encircled. They are trapped and can't go anywhere. I'll use the armor to push on towards Zaporozhye and Dnipropetrovsk because they're fast and they can go places. And the infantry will hurry up towards Odessa and trap the units there so they won't be able to redeploy. And the Dnipropetrovsk has been seized. We've also taken a beachhead on the other side of the Dnieper River. Let's use that and get to Belgorod and Kharkov. Beautiful little encirclement. So what we want to do here from this point forward is create pockets either like this with a couple of units in them, destroy them, move on. Or if we see a larger bulge in the line, like here for instance, if we can get through Novgorod towards Leningrad, we can cut off an entire section here and destroy that. That is how we want to play this. Use the armor as a sickle or a scalpel to cut off parts of the Soviet army and destroy it, because if we push it back, we'll just have to fight the units at a later time when they manage to regain some of their organization. Hey, realigned Romania. I guess we're just gonna go with Reichsautobahn and the coal liquidization stuff. Like I said, most of the focus stuff, well, actually, instead of Reichsautobahn, we can grab Rebuild the Nation and all the bonuses under Bulwark against socialism. And because the world is unfair, we're not able to launch the collaboration government. One of these spies got caught, as you can see. Then I had to use the other spy to liberate that spy, and as a result, our espionage network dropped away completely. And even though it's fully prepared and ready to go, we don't have the network strength anymore. This entire thing has been a waste of time, so we have to do it again. And apparently the Soviet Union is not the brightest because they just moved units away, meaning I could cross without any problems. Well, if the enemy's gonna just give it to me, that's perfect. And we'll spread out a little bit here. I've got more mountaineers that I was going to use on Italy, but I'll hurry them over to the Soviet Union first. We want to knock these guys out reasonably quickly. See if we can take Zaporizhzhia. Want to keep pushing, want to keep creating encirclements. They've pretty much ground to a halt. They're not able to push me. They're not able to push Finland. They're locked down as it is. And more teeny tiny little encirclements to destroy whatever the enemy still has. Mountaineers will push south and the armor will push towards the, what is this, the Caspian Sea? I think that's the Caspian Sea. Yeah. Or is that the Caspian Sea? Is that the Aral Sea? I keep forgetting. I think it's the Caspian Sea. We'll just cut off the Caucasus front, quickly collapse that, make sure the Russians never really recover from this. We want to hurry this along. I'd like to get this over with before the Soviets, before the Italians get involved. Yeah, there's literally no one home in Stalingrad. Well, there is now. A single tank division, and it's gone. Sometimes I do wonder what this AI is doing. Is it thinking? Is it sentient? Does it know? Yep, that is the entire south cleaned up. We'll get the mountaineers back to the Italian border. You never know when Italy's gonna do something stupid. They are pretty much the embodiment of stupid. And let's get the tanks somewhere to the north here so we can start driving up towards Leningrad. Would probably not be a bad idea to shorten this line somewhat, because we are a little bit stretched, but pound for pound, our divisions are simply better than the Soviet ones. They just can't touch me. As for that spy network, we've got our first collaboration government in. It is complete with 30% success. That's fine. We'll keep building that spy network. This guy's got 47%. Once we hit 50% on a spy network, we'll put it on quiet intel network. That way I can keep it maintained without risking well, losing it. Took us long enough, but we've made it to the north here. We've cut off the Soviet flank around Leningrad. We'll kill off those units and then storm the city itself. Supply is our biggest enemy here. It's like the whole theme of this sort of Barbarossa. Supply sucks. Meanwhile, launch another all-out infantry attack. We're low-ish on infantry equipment, but overall it should be fine to make it a couple big pushes. Soviets are really hurt. Oh, how about that? They caved a whole lot quicker than I thought they would. In any case, I'll take their fleet and then we'll just... There's no real point to taking any states. I'll just create some puppets out of them. And just like that, we've created a beautiful thing. So... we've balkanized the Soviet Union, and I decided to be nice to Finland, and they got to keep some of the land there. Let's also create some factions here and we can get going. Next stop is probably going to be Italy. We can justify on them. They still don't have any wars started, so we'll justify on Italy next. Gobble them up and we'll start building our own little axis of evil. No, we're not evil. We are the Central Powers. I guess I can still join that war though. Yeah, I'm in the war. All right, let's quickly rush some troops over there and get a little bit of war score in on Hungary. Oh god, is this how we're gonna play this game? Hungary joined Japan. I don't care enough about this right now. I was gonna say like this is a good guide video, you can follow along, but the AI has decided to go completely off the rails. It's fine. Going to have an aneurysm because China joined the Chinese United Front. Considering this has taken a turn for the worst, we'll take out Japan and Italy probably at once, followed by China and France. Oh, why did France have to join that stupid faction? Declare war on Italy. They are going to join the Japanese. That's just something that's gonna happen. We'll quickly overrun the Italians. They shouldn't be able to stand. Even if it's just my infantry army rushing down their throat, they can't stop me. I can easily overpower whatever they have. I wish I could get a button that allowed me to turn off all these join wars requests because they are so annoying. And of course, there's like actually nobody home in Japan, so this is stupidly easy. Get the armor across as well. Hopefully it doesn't all get sunk. All right, Czechoslovakia has joined the Allies. Just noticed that's fine. That gets them out of my hair. Allows me to take them on in one push next time. So messy, but I can justify a war goal on them in 30 days. So just need to defeat the Italians and the Japanese. Just before the faction dies, I'll start a justification on one of the allied majors that's also at war, and I'll be able to get a quick and dirty war going. Benito got himself puppeted as expected, so it's just a matter of mopping up now. Just gotta make the clean cut south, overrun Italy. Bada bing, bada boom, they're dead. That's it for the Italian army, I guess. In any case, I'm gonna start a justification on the French. It's gonna take 30 days. There we go. It's nice and clean. What I need immediately is everything to the north here. And Piedmont and Toscana. Of course, I can't take those because the stupid fake Italians have that. Other than that, nothing really matters. Might as well just puppet some of Hungary while I'm here. We got a thick Italian puppet that we now need to do a whole lot of construction in so we can integrate them as quickly as possible because we need their territory. And once we have them integrated, we'll get the stuff we need from them, and we can then create the puppet again. We are now justifying on the French. It's going to take about 30-ish days. I'm not going to call my puppet in, and we're going to defeat them quite cleanly here. One unit on the French border. A massive army is going to head up north here. Their justification is finished. We'll declare war. This brings us into a war with the entirety of the Allies. So let's do that. Once Rotterdam falls, at least the Netherlands are out. Our tanks are arriving on station. It's just a matter of pushing further south. Let's head to Dunkirk, Calais, etc. As far as Czechoslovakia is concerned, it's a giant pain in the ass. I'll be honest, it's just a giant pain in the ass. All right, we made it to Calais and Dunkirk. The French army is not home, so we'll keep pushing there. And my tanks can keep driving towards Paris. The armor should be able to punch through relatively quickly now towards Dieppe, Havre, Rouen, and that will be that. An end to the fighting. Capitulation! Triumph in France. Do I want to establish Bourbon France? I don't really want to do this. The main reason for that is it will give this province away as well to that new puppet, and we need Savoie. Let's use the armor to clean up these British beachheads there, and the infantry can mop up mess of troops around Luxembourg. Then we can prepare our invasion of the UK. Around here, we are fighting, but honestly, this massive fortification line, probably not worth the time we're putting into, trying to best it. Naval invasions are on the way, and we'll get all of these air forces to provide cover. Apparently, they got people in Dover. That's unfortunate, but I did manage to land next to Dover, so that should work out fine. And we'll head into Portsmouth as well. All right, take Dover, get the armor ready to roll, and we're good to go. All right, armor units go north. Infantry army here, follow up, cover the line, along with the mountaineers to cover the line. And we're gonna head north, and we'll go fast. Fast as fuck, boy. Vroom. Just go. And we'll also justify on the Swiss. It's gonna take like a year. There goes the UK, and with them the rest of the allies. Now let's take a good look at what we need. Alsace-Lorraine, Savoie. We need those. I'm pretty sure we need let's see, that. I'm just gonna go and bring up a map here so I get the right parts, because I don't know by heart. And with that, we've redrawn the map. Oh, who's justifying on me? Japan. With that, we've redrawn the map of the world to be a little bit more Central Powers friendly. We've pretty much broken up all colonial empires, created a bunch of puppets everywhere, including Mexico and Canada, so the USA is already surrounded. Unfortunately, Japan is still going through its focus tree because they were allowed to exist, so they are going to go for our colonies. Good luck with that. I'll get my navy over there right away to stop you. Anyway, all we have to do at this point is integrate the stupid Italians, which I can do with a lend-lease. I'll just send them 1,000 convoys once. So that will allow us to integrate the stupid Italians, and then we just need to finish our justification on the Swiss. Time to integrate the Italians. Beautiful. We'll use all their troops to then fully surround Switzerland, who we will destroy in about a year's time. Oh, thank God. That took forever. Now, if you guys really want to see this game lag out, oh, for some reason, we're with Mexico as well. Let me press this button. I'm gonna have the game running at full speed. Oh my God, my CPU. Oh my God, my poor CPU, it just shot up to almost 100. Oh, it's suffering. Oh, that's my fans ramping up. Oh my God, this is torture. I think that was it. We survived. Capitulation and a peace deal. So we're simply going to annex everything. Confirm and exit. That was actually easier than I thought. Like, the hardest part was justifying on them. Now we can click revive the Holy Roman Empire. Beautiful. Rebirth of the Holy Roman Empire. So many cores suddenly restored to us. So that gives us pretty much cores on, well, everything that we had to occupy for the achievement. I can even release some nations just because I don't want to occupy all of, for instance, Albania. Why am I occupying Albania? Go away. That's going to be a lot cleaner now. It's just a little bit of Italy down there. So we are now massive. 3.5 million men available while still on extensive conscription and with almost 2 full army groups deployed. We have 285 civilian factories. We have almost 300 military factories. I'm not even using half because I got bored. And we can take out the USA if we really wanted to. We can take out anyone in the world if we really wanted to. Look at the might of the Central Powers. We are an unstoppable behemoth, all under the benevolent guidance of Kaiserin Victoria. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was supposed to be a guide. It went completely off the rails, but we still did it. I hope you guys will enjoy this next video as well. See ya. I want to say a massive thank you for hitting 200,000 subscribers here. It's been a wild ride and I want to celebrate. And to do that, I have come to you with something that I hope you'll like. These are some high quality, beautiful mouse pads. The design made by an actual human for once in this age of AI art. So Disc, you have done a wonderful thing with this. I love the style. I love the colors. I love everything about it, including the hidden details. Cool product, something useful, and it's not just my logo slapped onto something that's readily available. These are some really high quality mouse pads. I love the stitching. I've been using this one for a while. It's like the test sample they sent me. I love it. You can tell the people who make this, Epic Desk, I've partnered with them mostly because like the founder knows what you want. Trey is a PC gamer himself. He started Epic Desk because he was frustrated from the lack of creativity and honestly questionable build quality of what you can buy online mostly, and they have done some wonderful designs over the years, and now I'm very excited to partner with them myself. Look, if you guys want one of these, there is only one opportunity to get them. These are the dates. Miss them and you will never see this mouse pad again. It will never restock. It's one and done. So if you want one of these, check out the link down below. It will bring you right to the product page. I am excited for these. I will continue to use these, and I hope you guys are excited for them as well. Anyway, back to the video.